Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, boys and girls, TGIF, thank God it is Friday. Let the culture and the church say amen up in here this afternoon, this
Yes,
evening.
sir.
Round of applause. Man,
Mhm.
oh boy, oh boy. Uh, Shout out to New Release Fridays, man. I love hearing new records that really just shape what this culture is all about and being a saved uh, ambassador for the Lord. It makes it even better when the authors and the curators follow that same narrative, say it unapologetically, but speak it in a language that true hip hoppers around the world can, navigate to, understand, and really get down with the speakers that do these wonderful projects and really, really just care about the art and the salvation of what Jesus did 2,000 plus years ago. Today, I'm in the presence of legends. One I have been following since 1996. Uh, I mean, what more can I say about this brother? He's a New York native like myself. Um, Migrated to California by way of Hawaii and has really honed his craft as an MC, as a producer. Um, Never got to really say this to him, but I'm gonna say it right now. Your song "Lessons of Worship" is, I think, my
Mm,
favorite song from you. It has
mm,
always been
mm.
the mainstay for how I looked at life and just the simplicity of it, but it really just spoke on a narrative that still holds true to me today. And I'm just a huge fan. So it's a pleasure to have him here. The other brother is someone I had just stumbled across. I saw the picture of the whole TRs, and I was looking at. I'm like, wait a minute, is this their bodyguard? Because he's big as heck. Like, yo, who is this new guy? Like, I'm not crossing paths with Dax or Zane or anyone because this dude will just fold me with the quickness. I mean, but then I heard "Prepare Me," and I was like, whoa. Um, I called my friend Triple Threat, who apparently has heard of you before, and I was like, "Yo, you got to hear this record, bro." And I sent him the link. I actually no, sorry, I did not send the link because it was an Instagram page. But I played it through my phone, and he was like, "Yo, that is, yo, who is that?" I'm like, "Yo, that's Peace 586 and Taylor. They got a project coming out this weekend." And he was like, "I didn't even know they was coming out with something." I'm like, "Well, now you know. Let the church say amen. Get that on Friday. Get that." And he's like, "Yo, I already got it, pre-reserved it, everything." So, ladies and gentlemen,
All right.
this is a treat for me. Um, the album is called "Let the Church Say Amen." But if you've been following my post for the last couple of days, I had hashtag "Let the Culture Say Amen" because it's a double win. And I'm just blessed to chop it up with these two brothers. Ladies and gentlemen, please make some godly noise for Peace 586 and Taylor Gray, Tunnel Rats all day, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, yes,
Yes,
yes,
sir.
yes,
We're
yes.
here.
Man.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
The first thing I'm gonna say is when you all do the "We on Top" remix, Taylor, you have to get a verse on that. We definitely need to hear
Ah,
that. I could just imagine you just bodying that record right there. But I truly want to just start from the beginning. Taylor Gray, I'm really getting to know you for the first time. So, Columbus, Ohio. When you think of Columbus, Ohio, you really don't think hip hop in a cultural sense, a secular sense, or even a sanctified sense, because it's just a rarefied city that you don't really is not synonymous with hip hop. So, um, your early influences of hip hop, what is Columbus, Ohio, like for someone like myself that has never been there? When it comes to the culture of hip hop, just speak on just Columbus, Ohio, in the short.
yeah. First of all, I just want to thank you for the love. Thank you for checking out the album, man. We are, Peace and I are just so excited to share with the world and really just hoping to change lives with the
Yes,
with the
sir.
project. So, Columbus, Ohio, man. We're a mixed bag here culturally because we're in the Midwest and we take influences from different coasts. But at the same time, for me personally, like I'm a student of Common and Jay Dilla. Like, kind of when the Soulquarians started to really take shape. Like I was really leaning in to learn whatever I could. But like stylistically, man, like I was most influenced early on by the East Coast hip hop sound. Like obviously anything coming out of New York City, coming out of Philly, those were kind of like my frame of reference for the kind of hip hop I like to listen to. And like I found the Tunnel Rats by the grace of God, like, and that gave me an introduction that really blew my mind because I couldn't find anything out here that sounded like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it was truly its own sound. And yet, like, Columbus, Ohio itself, like you said, it's not like this hotbed of hip hop culture. But one
Right.
interesting dynamic out here is it's not led by the rappers and the MCs, it's actually led by the DJs. So the DJs have the most influence out here
Mm.
versus the MCs. And that's just kind of like a little takeaway from Columbus, Ohio.
That's real, bro. Shout out to that. Thank you for honoring us, DJs. We appreciate that totally. I was just randomly finding information about you as best I could, and your love for raucous records
Hmm.
speaks highly of the type of MC that you are when you talk about the New York sound. I can't go a day without saying how influential raucous records was to
Yes.
the streets, but not in a gangsterish type of way. They really just
Right.
spoke to the soul of a man and woman,
Yeah.
and it just really was the independent scene. I truly think is the best hip hop scene because that's where the most freedom is, and Raucus really was the embodiment of that. And
Yes.
hearing you over this album really just gave me that fortified live Black Star roots organic sound that I truly think has been missing. Um, I think Royce the 5'9" and probably J. Cole on a less mainstream sense are the only really two curators that I feel really keep that street form alive today.
Mm.
Alongside yourself, I'm not trying to discredit you, but you know where I'm going with that. So
Oh no, no disrespect, bro. I would
yeah.
find myself at home if I got on a song with them. Like I would feel great.
Oh man, hey, let's speak that into existence. You never know what could happen.
Yes, sir.
Um, Let me just switch over to Peace real quick. First of all, Peace, thank you for the just decades of just greatness that you have been able to just produce from a hip hop stand of mind and a Christian state of mind. I truly appreciate you. What were some of your early influences? You being from the Bronx, where it all started. Me being from Brooklyn, I know what I saw: the graffiti on the train, the break dances, the block parties, just that just sense of belonging to something that was really really great back for me in the early 70s, early 80s. For you, what were your early influences of hip hop like in NYC and even when you got to Cali?
Well, being that I'm an old man, um, I was born before hip hop started.
Yeah.
So when I was 10 years old, and before Rappers Delight came out on record, you would see the DJs setting up in the park and them playing records in the park, having park jams. And I was too young to go to the park because, that was nighttime stuff. And we had to be
Hmm.
in the house when the street lights came on. So, but, just seeing what was going on, setting up, and then hearing about the joint the next day from all the bad kids that stayed out late at night. Um, those are early influences for me, like what's going on. And then one of my friends, uh, this girl, her name is Pat, and she lived in the building next to me. She still lives in that same building, um, same age as me. And she got some 1200s for her birthday, like her 11-year-old birthday. And she had some 1200s and a Gemini mixer, and she used to say, "Yo, come upstairs. Let's spin some records." And me and like three other dudes would all be in a room just cutting up records. She was a town boy, and you know, she was always down. She always played softball with us. She always played football with us. Like she was down. And but hip hop was her thing, and she loved DJing. And that right there, when I learned how to do that at 10,
Hmm.
11, that for me was like, yo, this is my life right here.
Right.
And then you know, seeing it flourish to become more and more, and then learning how to make beats on an
Mm.
MPC, then it was pretty much curtains.
Man, that's amazing, bro. No doubt. Um, let's just speak on the godly side of things. When did you both respectively find the Lord, and before that, before you found your life, before you found Jesus, to really be the center of your life? Was spirituality always a common thing in your respective families, or did you just come across it once you got saved and really just started to understand the church ways of, I guess, the church vibe, if you want to put it, verbalize it how you want to verbalize it. But when did you first have your first I like to say agreement with Jesus, but it's like, when did you have that first conversation to say, yo, this guy is really ill. Look what he did for me. I got to follow this man and truly live my life Christ-like. Speak on it respectively. Whoever wants to go first.
You want to go? You want to go, Peace, or?
Well, I guess so. Hey yo, but for me, obviously, the 586
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm,
it stands for May of 1986.
mm,
Uh,
mm-hmm.
May 16th, 1986, actually, um, is when I dedicated my life to follow Christ.
Mm.
Um, I think, I don't know, 17, 18, something like that. And, you know, for me growing up in the Bronx, you know, I grew up Catholic. You know, my mom's going to Catholic church, and then she became, I want to say, like, I don't know. I don't know the technical terms of church, man. I'm just not that dude. I just make beats.
Right.
And
Right.
but she started going to the Spanish church, and she used to drag me with her, and I used to hate it when I was a little boy. And the only thing I loved about going to church with moms was there was a pizza shop right across the street, and I used to walk across the street and get a slice of
Amen.
pizza for $1.25. And that was the only thing I liked about that church, because I
Mm.
would just go across the street. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Um,
So all good,
but
brother.
yeah,
All good.
May of 1986 is when I really said, "Oh, yo, there's something different going on in my life,"
Mm.
and it wasn't, yo, it was crazy, like for real. I was at church, and I went up to the altar. I said the sinner's prayer by myself with the pastor, and then this lady stood up and she prophesied over me right there. She said,
Wow.
hundreds of thousands of people are going to come to Christ because of you.
Mm,
And I was like,
Man.
I have no idea what you're talking about, lady. Okay, I'll just come here because I really feel like there's a calling, you know, like I need to do this for my life. But
Mm.
she was crying. She was pregnant and she was crying.
Wow.
And she was like, I don't know why I need to tell you this, but the Lord has told me to tell you that hundreds of thousands of people will come to Christ because of you. And I didn't know
Wow.
nothing. I didn't know how to make a beat then. I didn't rap. I didn't do anything. I
Mm.
DJ'd a little bit here and there, street parties and house parties in
Wow.
Cali. And I was like, okay. And then a year after that is when I basically met Chris Cooper and Soup and that and them, and started
Yeah.
making music. Like,
That's
yeah.
crazy. Wow.
Hmm.
What a testimony that is right there. That's so darn powerful. Good
Yeah,
Lord.
yeah.
Taylor, how about you, brother? When did you have your first interaction with Jesus to lead you to get saved and be the person you are today?
So I'm probably the polar opposite of Peace in the way that I was raised. I
Mm.
was raised in church. Um, I'm a product of the kind of church attendance that, you know, was basically all week. Like, you know, so
Mm,
like Sunday through Friday, like my dad was directing the choir. My mom was a soloist in the choir.
Mm.
Um, they had rehearsals during the week. They had Bible study during the week. They had Thursday night prayer service during the week. So, you know, I hated church just because it took over my life. Like, you know,
mhm.
and it was this thing where it wasn't like modern times where you could wear whatever you want. Like, you know, I had to wear suits and I had to wear, I had to dress up all the time. And I was just like, man, like, why can't we just relax in the evenings? We
Mm,
always got to go to church. But I'm a living product of somebody who was saved from church. You know,
mm,
just because you go to church all the time doesn't mean you follow Jesus. And I was living a life that was, you know, good enough to be obedient to my parents and look impressive to whatever people were looking at our family. But I
right.
didn't have like a sense of faith for myself until like my college years. So I would say for me, it was when I was 19 years old is when decided to start following Jesus outside
Mhm,
of the whole church experience. Because when I left my house, when they couldn't control me anymore, I went to college. I went to Ohio State. And once I got to Ohio State, I got to just completely be a different person. And I
mm.
explored that to the point where I almost got kicked out of college. And the long story short was I ended up chasing this girl to a Christian summer camp. You know, she was a Christian girl and I knew the Christian language. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm trying to talk to you. You know, she was like, you should work at this summer camp. You could be a camp counselor. I'm like, bet I get to have a whole summer with you. Bet I'm coming. So I went to the summer camp,
Mhm.
and one of the first things I found out was that she had a boyfriend that worked at the summer camp.
Oh.
So this summer camp was ironically just out. It was they were busing in inner city kids from New York City, and it was in like northern Pennsylvania. So I'm out in the middle of nowhere with my whole summer gone,
Mm.
just like, okay, I'm here at a Christian summer camp and I'm supposed to do what with my summer because there's no relationship for me. So what I
Mm,
ended up doing was using that time to reconnect with God
mhm,
and really just have some time away from my familiar settings. And it was at that summer camp I met the Lord, man. And it was outside of everything familiar to me. And I came back to Columbus changed.
Mm.
mm. Wow. Man, let me just pause real quick. I think those, neither, not knowing Peace's his testimony and yours, just hearing those stories of how you came to the Lord is just, I mean, that's not something you can just make up and write. It was just, it was just authentic, as authentic can be, and that was just brilliant. So thank you for sharing those testimonies, gentlemen.
Word.
I truly appreciate hearing that. So at age 14, Taylor, you had aspirations of music. So at the age of 14, who were some of your musical experiences at that time? Aside from
Me.
the Winans, and he said
Yep.
me. Yeah.
Peace 586.
Said blame it all
L
on me.
Listen, man. LPG. These
Yeah.
guys,
Yeah.
oh man. You know,
Yeah.
like when it rains, it pours. Eagles don't soar when it rains.
Mm.
Like I could, yes, let's go, bro.
Oh
Let's go.
man.
See,
Oh man.
I don't have my CD copy, so I can't flex like you just did right now. But
Mm.
I moved a couple of times and I got kids, so sometimes things get lost in the sauce. But
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to so I'll be honest with you, like, you know, I was in church and um my parents didn't like the mainstream hip hop stuff. So the
Yeah.
Winans was not like choice. It wasn't no choice in that. It was just like, okay, I get to hear the Winans try to do rap. And that was the
Hmm.
closest thing I could get to like hip hop in some sense, or at least the rap that was out at the time.
Yeah.
So they would slide me Christian rap from time to time. And I thought it was corny. I thought it was whack. Like, you know, I'm like, man, I'm not listening to this. Like, I listen to it for y'all, so you think that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, but what am I supposed to do with this? Um, until I went to the tape store with my dad, and we got Earthworm.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, it was at the
Come on.
Christian bookstore, and it was a tape. And you know, man, listen, it was over from there.
Yeah.
Like the way that I feel right now,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
like I get a chance to interact with and create with my heroes.
Mm.
Like
Wow.
these guys were so far ahead of their time.
Mm-hmm.
Like even thinking back like to what I was listening to and spinning it today, like
Yeah.
everything is relevant. Everything is now. Everything is what it was for me at age 14. I can fast forward all of these years later and be like, yo, man, this could come out today. So
Yeah.
the Tunnel Rats were huge. I did listen to Cross Movement. It was kind of like the yin and yang, you know, for
Mm-hmm.
me, where it was like, all right, I'm gonna get battle raps, graffiti, and everything from the Tunnel Rats, like from a hip hop culture standpoint. Then I'm gonna get theology, message,
Right.
gospel,
Mm.
like hardcore
Yeah.
preaching, you know, from the Cross Movement stuff. So I'm
Right.
specifically speaking to like my Christian rap, Jesus rap, gospel rap foundation as far as
Yeah.
like what I was listening to at that age.
Dope.
Yeah. Let me just I have a similar story, similar path you did. Oh, what happened to peace? Where did peace go? Oh, there he
Uh-oh.
is. Okay. I was like, nah, you can't, we can't leave the
Not
producer
this
out.
part. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, not this part.
Not this part.
95, I was 21, just graduated college. And I didn't stumble across LPG first. I waited till 96 when the experience came out in my church store and I just saw it. And like you, I gravitated toward just the cover of the album.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what they're about yet. I didn't even know they were from LA, but the cover already had me because I come from
Yeah.
that culture being from New York. So I was like, yo, I'm buying it hands down and I'll just take my chances. And it just blew me away. And then I went back and got LPG and then Future Shock and then Peace 586 albums and then eventually Journey Big albums. And then New Breed came along, who were personal friends of mine from Boston. Shout out to Macho and Elsie. And it just grew
Yes.
from
Yes.
there. And then, like you, Cross Movement. The first time I heard Who's the Man, Peace to the Fanatic, praying for you, brother. But that
Yeah.
record really just, I'm like, gospel rap never sounded like this because I was listening to DC Talk and Gospel Gangsters and A1 Swift before I found this. And like
Yeah.
you, this changed my narrative as a person from the hood who wore baggy jeans and sneakers and said fresh and illmatic and word and dope and all those slang messages. It really just spoke to me. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
very similar
Yeah.
path. So,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
was forever changed. Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Um,
Shout to Sphere of Hip Hop. That was also another vein of how I
yeah,
got to tap into all of these artists. So yeah, I'm with
Oh
you.
yeah, that's Josh.
Yeah.
Josh Naminsky.
amen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. So Pete, speaking that
Mm.
of LPG, that is how you made your introduction into the Tunnel Rat. So, well, when you first met Dax and Journey as LPG, what was those relationships like, and how did you guys meet?
First things first, I never heard a cross movement song ever in my life.
Wow.
How I met how Journey and I met Dax. Um, let's see. I was
Man, I'm done.
oh man, my earbuds are going down.
I'm done.
Still hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, my earbuds is going out.
Oh, I love it. I love it. See, this is Tunnel Rats. This is
Oh.
like the
Hey,
Tunnel
look,
Rats are
man. Hey,
still
look,
the
man.
Tunnel
I'm
Rats.
just being me. I'm just
Yeah.
being me.
Nah,
I don't know how
don't
anybody else,
apologize.
but
Don't
I never heard.
apologize.
I never heard that. I've never heard anything from. I just listen to my stuff.
Right.
I
No,
don't
don't
listen to.
apologize. It's okay.
I listen to
Straight
what I
like that.
do. I listen to
Yeah.
Taylor because Taylor's super dope, and I'm not saying
Yeah.
nobody else is dope, but I think I have good
Right.
taste. So how Dax
Yes, you.
and I have met. Let's see. When
Oh.
when when Soup and I before we had record deals, we used to
Mm-hmm.
rap at churches and stuff, and we used to rap for nothing, like just just feed us, right, and we'll come and sell
Right.
his. He's the only one that had a tape. I mean, he used to sell his tapes, and we would just have fun, and I would back him up on stage rapping with him. I wasn't rapping my stuff, but I was rapping with him, like his hype man, whatnot. And then we got booked to do a show at Jackson Journey's church in La Puente,
Mm-hmm.
California, at the Victory Outreach, and we performed there. And then they had Jackson Journey rap. They were part of a group called Cousins 3, and then they also had another dude that rhymed too, and DJ Dub was his DJ. And this is before he was jumped on with SFC.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we met, and it was almost like it was bananas because I felt like I knew Dax and Journey like for years when we met. It was like, oh yo, yeah, and so we just bonded, and we really didn't connect musically then. We just were friends, we were homies.
Mm-hmm.
And when we have shows, they'd always be down, and we'd hang out afterwards, and maybe go get something to eat, and then occasionally here and there, Dax would always hit me up to make beats, but I didn't even have an MPC back then, and we were just trying to make beats on a like a 5-second sampler, but it never worked out. And then Soup signed his record label to the label. Then I signed my deal. And then upon recording my second album, Freedom of Soul's Second Coming album,
Mm-hmm.
I was slowly transitioning to becoming more of a producer and more. I started falling in love with the process of making songs. And my pen was just like, I don't even want to write. I can't write to nothing anymore. So I had them help me lyrically with hooks and even ends of raps that I started because I couldn't finish, because I was just into producing.
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to make beats, and I was fascinated with sampling and chopping samples and grabbing drums, like kicks and snares, and just flipping them, like, and making these songs out of nothing, and this was like 1994, 1993 is when I fell in love with beat making. And then I was like, yo, I'm not rhyming anymore. And because I love it, and I did things just because it paid me some money to make some records. Like I was like, whatever, man, I'm just gonna make this money and bounce. But really, that's how Dax and I met. The way the Earthworm was created was after Dax and Journey helped me with my record. My record label wanted to sign them, and they asked me if I thought that was a good idea, and I was like, yeah, these dudes are dope, so you guys should really sign them. And so they presented them with an offer, and they took it. And then they wanted Soup to produce their record, and Soup did the first single, which was The Earthworm, right? And then they were supposed to be recording, and Gene Eugene, the famous Gene Eugene, would always ask me, like, yo, what's going on with Dax and Journey? Why aren't they in the studio, and where's the music at? And I would say, I have no idea. And I asked Soup one day, I said, yo, what's going on? He was like, bro, Dax don't hit me up. I'm not going to work on nothing if nobody's hitting me up. So I was like, whatever. So I went to Dax and said, yo, I got beats. Why don't you just rhyme over mine? And then he was like, all right, just shoot him to me. And I would go to his house with my drum machine and just play beats and make beats. And literally they were just sitting right to whatever I played. And then, yeah, we just did it that way. And that's how I got to produce the 10 out of the 11 songs on that record.
Before I get back to Taylor, let me just say thank you for a place called hip hop. Thank you.
Man,
Thank you.
come on.
Thank you.
Come on.
And this song wasn't on the album, and I'm gonna assume that you produced it. Thank you for it don't stop. Thank you. Oh man.
Whose song is that? Is that Soup song?
No, that's LPG.
It don't stop.
Yes,
I
yes,
can't remember.
y'all. It don't stop.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
y'all.
yeah.
You don't quit. Oh man. Oh, Journey's vengeance on that man. Man, we could.
Yeah.
Woo. Okay, let me bring it. Let me
Woo.
circle back.
He's an alien.
Let me circle back.
He's just like a little Martian from some other planet, man. It's crazy.
Man.
Woo.
Wow. So Taylor, you were part of a group called the Elevationists. If I want to sort of correct. My friend Triple Threat from Boston told me about this group that you were a part of. How did that crew become what it became, and what was those years like from 2006 to 2009?
Man, that was a really special time, and we, for the most part, patterned our crew after the Tunnel Rats, or what we observed from the Tunnel Rats. We used to battle each other to the point where, we had to figure out how to make up after the battles because it got pretty personal. But it was like the nature of the group was competition. Like, we got to make each other better. You got to write your verse over. Next song, you have to make sure that you come with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And my brother was producing the beats. He was producing all the beats, and he was producing them from a keyboard. So, he was making keyboard beats. We come out of the church, so gospel music was always all around us. So his stuff was more melodic in a lot of the stuff that he did. And 06 to 09 was special, man. Like, we were rapping, and we constructed from the crew a live band. Like, we had drums, we had my brother on the keys, we had a bass player, we had horns. Like, it was like a full band that we called the Locksmith.
Wow.
And we just locked in and created a whole, the thing with my brother was really special. Kristen Gray, incredible artist all the way around. I watched this dude learn how to play keys by ear. And the thing that would be crazy is he would be rapping full verses from the keyboard. And not the A, B, C, D, E, F, G raps, like complex rhyme schemes, singing. And I'm just over here with a microphone. Like, I can't sing, but I got to give everything I can to these bars because it has to make sense. And because we were brothers and family, the chemistry was there. Nice. So we saw what the Tunnel Rats had created. Like, we literally created a crew. Like, that was kind of like unheard of in Columbus, Ohio, where like we would invite people in to, create songs and just try to sharpen each other, really, and get the best out of each other, no matter what way we would contribute. So that was a really special time, and I think we made some special music.
Amazing. Oh man. So basically, what Taylor is saying right now, with all the stuff that he's saying about how the Tunnel Rats really influenced him, you better cut this crew a check, bro. I'm just saying.
He's doing it. He's doing that already by
man.
Bars.
Right now.
Right now.
Man.
This album is his paycheck. That's how he's
right now.
Man. To quote Fat Joe, after this, the price is definitely going up. Definitely after this, man. Salute to Fat Joe, one of the greats to ever do it. So that brings us to where we are, right now. I got so many other questions I could ask, but I just really want to focus on this moment and how this album was created. So when the two of you got together to work on this epic project that is now out for the masses to hear, what were the discussions like on how to formulate, let the church say, man, what were the beginning conversations like? What was the narrative you guys wanted to tell with this album?
You start, Tay.
Oh man, you got the best one though. Okay. Well, I'm gonna be quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna just tell you flat out, like, it didn't take much convincing for me because it's one of my heroes. You know, in any kind
Right.
of conversation around creating together, it's not a matter of desire, it's just a matter of time. And I know what I'm going to get from Piece 586 Beats. It's timeless.
Yeah.
It's timeless. There's
Yeah.
never a time where his production does not match or connect with listeners. So, like for
That's
me,
crazy.
like as a listener, I'm like, man, like you want to do a project with me? Like, that's crazy to me again because I'm still little boy, teenager Taylor in my mind. But at the same time, I feel like I finally have worked long enough to earn an opportunity to rap on the beats.
Wow.
So
Dang.
it's just an interesting timing for me for us to get together and create because um, I was really like in an interesting place with my faith. Maybe you know this. I'm a pastor,
Yeah.
currently right now
Yeah.
serving in that capacity. But, for me, being a pastor comes with, a lot of seeing things very differently than when you're just like in the audience attending a church.
Yeah.
So I've seen like behind the curtain and experienced things now. And my faith has been affected by some of the stuff that I've seen. So when Peace approached me with the idea for this, it was just like I was in a very interesting place. And my goal was just to make sure that whatever I wrote, I could stand behind. And then I
Mm-hmm.
was going to be honest and be able to tell the truth.
Mm.
So I knew that just knowing Peace personally,
Mm.
that's all he would want anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And at the same time, our dynamic of keeping it real, like, is effortless. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
somebody who I feel like I have to posture or fake to. So
Right.
I'm saying that's a very important place to create from. Like it's a place
Mm-hmm.
of safety, a place of honesty, and a place of spiritual depth. That was, right on time for me.
Yeah, that
Peace
was good.
before you Peace, before you answer that question, I didn't get a chance to ask. In the producing game in your early stages, who were some of your producing influences?
Like early,
Yeah.
like
Or however you want to answer that. Just like who are some of the producers that you really like were influenced by even then and even now?
I would say, I would say DJ Premier.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Oh yeah.
say, I would say, Q-Tip. I would say, um, anything made by De La Soul or um, in the like De La Soul is Dead is like probably one of my favorite records. Um,
Mm.
Absolutely. Rest in
um,
peace, True Gore the Dove.
yes, sir, man. I got to meet that brother, and he's such a good dude, man. And
Yeah.
I was shocked. Yeah, so probably those two. I didn't really get into Dilla until like after he passed,
Mm-hmm.
really, to be honest.
Mm.
But me knowing DJ House Shoes the way I do now, who basically put Dilla's first record on vinyl, like from Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the way I know him now, and it's so crazy that the stories that he tells me that early in the 90s, and they're so similar to what I was doing in the studio when he first started, before he became Dilla.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, I was doing the same exact thing, like his techniques, his patterns, like I was doing the same thing he was doing. So, I'm not trying to say I'm Dilla in this realm or this part. I'm just saying it just blows my mind. And even one day I played Too Late for House Shoes, and
Mm.
he was like, "Yo, hold on, let me show you something." And he pulls a record out and he
Mm.
plays it, and it's the same sample of Too Late that Dilla
Wow.
made in the same year I made Too Late for LPG.
Wow.
Crazy. That's
Wow.
crazy. Wow.
That is
Yeah,
bananas.
I mean, I was like,
Wow.
yo, this is nuts, yo. You can't do this to me, Shoes. And he was like, yeah, man.
Amen, man. That's dope.
Nice. Man.
Um, now I have followed the Tunnel Rats, like I said, since '96, and I've never
Oh
got
wait,
to hang with you guys.
hold on. I didn't answer that question as far as
Oh, I'm sorry. Nah, go ahead,
yeah.
brother. Go ahead.
Let me speak about this record, man, because it's real special to me, man. Like for real, I just want everybody to know that Taylor's a good brother, man. I love Taylor, man. He's my bro.
Yeah.
Like not like before I met Chris first, and then I didn't even know he had a brother. And then when I heard Taylor rap, I was like, man, this dude is nice. And then Journey's a huge fan of Taylor Gray, like huge. And
Yeah.
Journey used to say, yo, you hear this dude? Like this dude is just bars, like, cause it's real
Yeah.
life raps. Like we don't like corny stuff. We don't like stuff that makes us go, okay, bro. Like real life raps, and from a father, from a fatherhood, from a brother, from just makes me feel like when I hear him speak over beats, like, yo, man, I need this dude on my joints. And so I asked him to feature on a couple of joints here and there on my beat tapes and whatnot. And then he
Yeah.
even actually did an EP over my beats called New Piece. And so last year I was like, yo, at some point we need to do a full length, bro, because like this is like, what are we doing? Like it's obviously people want it. They love it, right?
Yeah.
So let's not
Mm.
mess around. Let's just do it. So I
Yeah.
started making beats thinking about this going back to the gospel hip hop roots. Like I wanted to go back and make a gospel hip hop record. And I came to him and I was like, yo, Tay, I want to make a record that takes us back to that where we
Yeah.
just talking about Jesus, like, but in
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
grown up way, like in a
Yeah.
real way, in a relationship way, not
Yeah.
in a way where we're shoving it down people's throats or trying, not
Right.
not in that way. And he was
Mm.
like, with that idea, he was like, yeah, you know what, that sounds dope. So I said, I even want to go back to like just chopping break beats, like
Mm.
so we can go back to that feel. So I
Mm-hmm.
chopped
Mm.
a bunch of break beats and I just found a bunch of samples, like church samples and choir samples and praise and worship samples. And I just started flipping them. And I sent Taylor, I don't know, maybe like 16, 17, 18 beats or something like that. And he chopped it down to 10 that he knew he really wanted. So, and he started writing to, and I was like, this dude is crazy. Like, seriously, what is he writing? And then after that, uh, you know, working with my bro Dan Steele, the
Dr.
other
Dan.
alien, the
Yes.
Mm.
other alien from another
Dr.
planet.
Dan's crazy.
Him hearing that and him being a brother of ours as well, like a good brother. He was like, "Yeah, I want to be a part of this, and I want to make sure
Mm.
it sounds good. Like, I want to make sure that your project sounds the way it needs to sound."
Yeah.
And
Right.
without Dan adding his flavor, this album would never be what it is right now. This is my second favorite album that I ever made in my life. The first is
Amen.
Mm.
Earthworm. This album is up there for me because of
Oh,
the quality of sound, the beats, and Taylor just pouring his heart into every song. Like every song, I can't stop listening to it. I got the
Mm.
master July 3rd. I still listen to this record every day, every
man.
single day, and I don't do
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
don't do that.
I don't play records like that. And like I said, 20 times I've already played this thing front to back. Every time I'm in the car, that's the only thing that I'm rocking. I had a Lyft customer yesterday, and she was really offended by the music I was listening to. And when she got out the car, I asked why she kept making those faces with every song that was playing. And I noticed her expressions changed. In the beginning, she was just making these mean faces, like expecting to hear something. I know he'll be right back, so
Oh,
it's okay. I know he'll be right back, and there he is. Um, what she said to me was, I was waiting to hear curses, the N word, this, that, and I didn't hear that at all from this project. And I just turned around and I said to her, I'm like, I'm not going to be upset at you, but you really, as someone that has been a student of this game for well over 40 years, um, don't always assume that because you hear a black man speaking that that's what's going to come out of his mouth. Understand this man's testimony and where he's coming from to hear the things that he's speaking. Like, and I knew very little about you, but I could say this man is a father. He's a husband, and I don't think he would want to rap that way in front of his kids, coming from the background that I think he is coming from. And we just had a very decent conversation about it. It took 10 minutes. But in that 10 minutes, I think she got a clear understanding of what the culture sounded like through the music that you was narrating as we were listening to the album. And her faces changed with each song that came. It went from turn this stuff off to like more pondering, like she was reading a book. And it was just a very deep conversation. So yeah, I just wanted to just truly share that.
That's fire.
Now, I was going to, well, you already answered the question piece, but I was going to just say that Tunnel Rats really don't just pick any MC to join the crew. Like, you have to have something to bring to the table. And that's why I was going to ask, what was it about Taelor that made you just, stop, look, and listen and say, we got to get this guy on some stuff. I like where his soul is, but you already answered that question. So,
just to go into him being a Tunnel Rat now.
Yeah.
The first question was how about our record?
Right. Yeah. That's I was gonna tie all that in, but you already answered it. So yeah, absolutely.
But him becoming a Tunnel Rat was just basically me telling Dax, look, dude, this dude is the real deal.
Yeah.
And he had never heard him rhyme. And I started sending him joints, and he was like, yeah, this dude is dope. He's nice. Not that he's just nice, but he fits them all. He's cut from our cloth, bro.
Yeah.
Like, he grew up listening to us. How can he not be one of us? Like, I'm not saying everybody gets that privilege, but him having the maybe I shouldn't say that. Him just being the man that he is. I was gonna go somewhere.
Remember, be unapologetic. It's okay. It's all right.
I love this brother. I love this dude.
I do too, man. Don't hold nothing back. Say it, brother. Say it. No judgment here. Say it.
Him having the testicles that he has. Okay. just knowing who he is as an MC. We just not gonna take. Well, actually, there are some cats that I feel Dax took that should not have ever been a part that are no longer with us.
We're gonna leave that one right there. Yeah, we're gonna leave that one right there.
Taelor is definitely crew, and I think some of the bars that the crew has heard, and even this album, they're like, oh, by far, there's no way he's not. So yeah, welcome, Tay. We can't give you no chain, like we don't do it like that, but like rock.
Well, definitely.
Yeah, this is a dream come true is what I posted. I just can't believe it's like some of my homies who've been around me for a while and known we have listened to Tunnel Rats for as long as we did. Like, they've been hitting me up like crazy. Like, this is insane to see you standing next and standing with and rhyming with the Tunnel Rats.
Yeah.
Like, there's a respect that the Tunnel Rats carry that just like it resonates immediately when you speak their name, you know, and it's beyond like just this idea of becoming a mainstream artist. It's like people who stay true to their message, and of course, this is the main thing: true to the calling.
Yeah.
Like the calling part. Yeah. That's one of the things Dax told me when I finally got a chance to meet him. Is like, this is a calling. Peace always says this is a calling. Yep. You know, Jern says it's a calling, and that is literally young Taelor taking my convictions to music, hearing the Tunnel Rats teach me that when I was young.
Man, brilliant. I just want to talk about some of the songs. I didn't have time to really memorize all the lyrics just yet, but I had already told Peace that Fear, Prepare Me, and Heart are my three standouts as of this time. Let's talk about Fear first, because everybody has a fear of something. and you as a pastor, a husband, and a father, I'm sure fear is a constant consistency in your life.
Yes.
So when you was writing this particular track, and shout out to, is it Dayton or Dotton? How do you pronounce this brother's
Dayton.
name?
Dayton.
Dayton. Okay. Now I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was Dax at first because I was like, "Yo, this guy is."
Oh
I
wow.
thought it was Dax at first.
Okay.
I really did. But now I just saw the name. I was like, "But shout out to Dayton if you're tuned in right now. Salute to you, my brother. Powerful verse." But explain the narrative you wanted to get out with the song "Fear." Talk about it. Both of you could talk about
Man, that joint was so eerie when I first heard it.
it.
I was like, like it felt like it felt like some almost like refined Wu-Tang a little bit. Like it gave me like I leaned in and I kind of like I'm not the dude from the streets, but I felt like I had a mean mug on my face when I was writing to it because it was a mood
Mm-hmm.
immediately. And then I got into a groove. I wrote, at least for me, I wrote the first two lines and it was just two things I was afraid of. And before I knew it, I was just like, man, I need to just talk about things I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
And then what do I do when I'm afraid? Like, and this is like a part of faith for me is understanding how to navigate my fears. And there were
Mm-hmm.
just memories that came to mind. There were like things that I was dealing with right now immediately. But it was just like the beat, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Peace, but I believe the beat was called Fear. When you had it, maybe I'm wrong, but that's immediately the sense that I got was like, you know
Oh,
what?
maybe it was because
Yeah,
it was ugly.
yeah,
I
it
was
felt
I
like
was
that.
I was scared of it.
Yeah, well, that's when it was eerie, bro. It was crazy eerie when I heard it, and it was just like it put me in
It
a
was
mind frame.
it was ugly when I was making it. My whole face was just like,
Yeah,
what am I doing right now?
yeah.
I
See,
was literally like,
Mm.
yeah,
Wow.
like,
yeah,
what's going on? But yeah,
yeah,
I
you're right. You're probably right.
I
yeah.
can't quote the line word for word that you said, but the line when you was like, the all the church work that I put in. I don't remember the whole
Mhm.
line,
Yeah,
but that
yeah,
line really stood out, and I'm like, man, wow,
yeah.
a simplistic thought turned into one of the most powerful bars I think I'll ever hear. And I can relate to that. Hold on. Oh boy, I gotta stop eating
Oh, okay.
spicy. I gotta stop eating spicy food. I really gotta stop. Um, but yeah, that one line just really
Yeah,
just embodied, I think, what the whole record was about. So I think
yeah.
in order of the album, that was the first one I heard, and it just really just spoke to me. And I'm like, yo, after I got past the narrative and everything, that song ended. I'm like, yo, this bro can spit his I can't say the word here because my wife is
Yeah.
watching, but this man can spit his man. This guy's got
Yeah.
it. This guy truly has a lost art. And man, thank you. Now prepare me.
Prepare
You
me.
talked about using
Prepare me.
samples, man. That church choir sample for this one, wherever
Yeah.
you found it, Heart of Gold fit right in. Can both y'all just quickly explain prepare me and the personal journey with this song that you all are trying to tell to the masses?
Well, again, it goes back to the just wanting to make a gospel hip hop record. So I found the sample, and I flipped it and put the
Mm-hmm.
drums behind it, and then it was easy. That was easy one. That was just like, well, this is done. I've been like 3 minutes and just put it in song mode, and I shared it with him, and the prepare me is in the hook. It's it's the song, and he just basically wrote about you know being prepared in uncomfortable situations, like just at every moment you are being prepared in your life,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
at
Yes.
every single moment, whether we
Yep.
think we're good and everything is going good, or whether it's not going good. It's preparing you for that next step, that next
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
So, and
Yep.
how he worded it, put the pen to it, is just like, yeah, You're right. This is right. And one thing I wanted to do, I love about Taylor is that I'll send him a beat and he just goes in 32, 48, 56 bars, and then we just, okay, that's a song. You know, do we want to add a hook? Does it need it? No. Okay, well then don't put it. You know, like we don't I don't like being traditional as a producer. I like making
Right.
people go, dang, that's different, or that's weird, or why did you do that?
Yeah.
Even when I
Yeah.
flip samples, you know. So I think the album is
Mhm.
perfect from
It
beginning to end.
is. Yeah, it definitely is. Now, Taylor, I'm gonna bring out my comedic side with this one. When you talked about the sister at the Christian camp, I kind of have a feeling that the beginnings of "Take My Hand" were about her. Somehow, some way, I bet you reached
Hey,
out to her at 10:30 at night, saying, "Let's
Yeah.
go to a movie."
hey, Taylor. At some point, you got to tell me how she got in the bathroom, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
You know how you're able to be coded behind certain raps. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, huh?
you tell enough of the story for it to be interesting. Let me just tell you right now, we're probably not gonna do a video for that one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love that beat. That beat is fire.
Yeah,
Like I
the beat
it
love
is
that song.
was.
crazy. The beat
I
is
love that
crazy.
song, and I love the concept of it of just being, hey, this is just me in my youth, and this is what I did, and
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a great third party conversation that you was probably like third person conversation is what I got from the beginning of that verse. So I
the
really enjoyed
original
that.
name of that song, by the way, is Youth Group Chronicles.
Yeah. That's what that
Ah,
stands for. YGC is
And,
Youth Group Chronicles. And anybody who's been in church, there's some crazy things that go on in the youth group.
yeah.
Like
Oh
some
yeah.
stuff that you want to talk about, some stuff that you probably
Mhm.
don't want to talk about. But
everybody has them.
yeah,
Yep. Be unapologetic, man.
Yeah, man.
Speak that realness because someone will relate to it.
That's right.
Don't sugarcoat a damn thing.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Um, so with this album now that is out, I don't like to say where do you go from here,
Mm.
but where do you go from here? I mean, are we going to see shows? You guys going to do tours? I expect videos will come out. Prepare Me's already one video. I'm sure you're going to do a whole lot more. But the real question I want to ask is now that this is out, and I want to quote Fred Hammond back in 1998. He said, "God is speaking in a today's generation voice." Um, but hip hop's voice always changes with the times. It was the backpack era, and then it was the conscious era, and then it was the Israelite 5%er era, and now we're in an era where I don't even really know what to call it, but
Mm.
there's so much goodness that's coming out of what this era and time frame is.
Mm.
How would you describe this album to fit in this generation for today's people still searching for the truth through hip hop, through rhymes, all the while trying to live their best Christ life that they possibly can? Either one of y'all can answer that.
Yo, I just want to say something real fast about hip hop and it changing. I've
Yep.
said this for I don't know how many years. I've been saying this for decades. No matter how much hip hop changes,
Mm-hmm.
no matter where it travels, it always comes back to beats and rhymes. Period. At
Period.
the end of the day, it can go to the South, it can go to the Midwest, it can go to Japan, it can go wherever. It can go religious, it can go secular, wherever. At
Mm-hmm.
the end of it, everything, it always comes back to that OG Run DMC, Sucker MCs, just a drum beat and some bars. Period.
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Period.
And that to me answers the question is, this idea of relevance. you know like there's never going to be a point where any conversation around relevance doesn't come back to beats and rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I know that people try to take it in those different directions. Those are trends, and those trends die, and those little gimmicks and mechanisms, they run out of steam.
Like trap
But
beats.
like like
Yeah.
trap beats.
Say that
now
again.
now I'll say there's
I
some
said that on
guys
purpose to make Taylor laugh, by the
that
way.
well, yeah, of course. But there are guys who can rhyme over those trap beats, so they're
Yeah.
still being held accountable to that beat, even if it ain't like a Piece 586 beat. It ain't at all.
Then they're
Like
gonna
No.
be in the cross movement part of my life where I never heard of one of their songs or one of those type of songs ever.
I'm sorry. I gotta do this for that moment. Here we go. Oh my goodness! I just dropped the sound effect. That was funny as ever.
Mm.
Oh man. That was when Peace's music career is over, even though it never will be. He can masquerade as a comedian at night, and he will just be as
Mm.
effective.
yes,
I'll just tell stories.
yeah,
That's all. That's all you gotta do. And that same voice right now, and that's what makes it so funny because his voice isn't changing. He's just speaking calmly, and it's just
exact. That's the
hilarious.
funniest part. Yes, it's like it's dead serious, and then he'll just be like, he'll hit you with like, "Why are you laughing?" Like, it's just like
That's stupid.
I thought it was hilarious.
I did do it. I'm like, oh my god, it's crazy.
I mean,
Um,
no disrespect to anybody. I'm just letting you know.
Hey
don't
man, you
don't
say what you got to say.
apologize. Just
Yeah,
say what you got. Freedom of speech in America. Say
say
what you
what you
gotta
got to
say.
say.
It is all. If they're offended, oh well, they're offended. It is what it is.
Is what it is.
Um. I want to just get serious for a moment. I always ask this of everybody that's on the show. Over the decades, we've lost so many great pioneers, legends, lyricists, DJs, producers. We could talk forever. We just talked about True Gordon not that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
For me, when Heavy D passed, I felt like my whole childhood of hip hop was gone. He was my first influence that showed me that you can be artistically great, speak your mind, and don't have to use blasphemous lyrics to do it. He was my first teacher for that. Um, for you guys, respectively, who is that person that is no longer with us in the physical that really just made you stop and just say, "Dang, this was that guy for me," or female or whomever that really influenced me to be the person that I am artistically. Who was that person? Speak on it. Whoever wants to go first.
Yeah, so I'll start, and this one may come as a surprise a little bit. And as I get older, I know that the lives that hip hop has brought to us are not guaranteed to be here. I think
Mm-hmm.
as I get older, the mortality is kind of crazy for me. But it was DMX for me.
Mm.
Um, so 14-year-old Taylor was so happy to find Tunnel Rats. Um, and then I would sneak off and listen to DMX's Darker and Hell
Mm-hmm.
is Hot. But the part of DMX that I think at times gets undersold was like the spiritual part.
Yeah.
Like he would be talking about really
Mm-hmm.
dark things, but then a prayer would
Mm-hmm.
be in the middle of a really dark album.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
kind of like that duality really stuck with me. It would convict the heck out of me, to be honest with you. Like, I'm listening to this and then I hear this guy go really spiritual and have like a conversation with the Lord in
Yeah.
the middle of all the darkness. So just growing older and seeing his story and then how he passed, like it was just kind of really a moment of grief. And I actually
Yeah.
took a Sunday service to just like honor like what he represents to the culture. Like
Yeah.
there was a spiritual connection he made to the culture, despite everything he was struggling with. So that's who it
Yeah.
was for me.
Dope,
Absolutely.
dope.
Absolutely.
Um, bro, I have three, and
Okay.
one in hip hop, one not in hip hop, and one not even in music.
Right.
In hip hop, it was definitely Dave, Trugoy, definitely
Yeah.
Dave. Huge fan of the brother, not just because of his music and what he done, but he was such a good dude. Every time I would see him, he'd shake my hand. I mean, every time I would see him like backstage, and he would be like, "Yo, what's up, bro? Like, just give me a pound." And how you doing? How's the wife? How's the kids? Like always for me. And I
Wow.
was like, "Yo, I get to shake your hand like you don't know who you are." To
Mm.
me, you have no idea. I saw him.
Yeah.
I met him at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. He sat right next to me, and I flip my wig, bro. I was like, I stood up, and said, "You have no idea who you are to me."
Man,
Yeah.
Right.
it's
And then he
Yeah.
crazy.
just started laughing. He was cracking up laughing. I was like, "You are not supposed to sit right here." "No, you are not." "How? Of all
Mm.
days, I don't come here and you sit right here, right next to me in the table." I was
Yeah.
I was bugging out.
Yeah.
I was,
Wow.
and then from there, I would see him pop up every once in a while, and he would always be like, "Yo, what's up? What's up?" So him first, and then second, Prince. I'm a huge Prince fan.
Mm.
And
Mm.
when he passed away, especially how he passed away, I was shook, bro. I couldn't. I
Yeah.
was like, I cried. I literally cried. I never do that, and I
Yeah.
was like, this is not supposed to happen.
Mm.
No, and I
Wow.
couldn't believe it. I turned into every news station just to make sure it was like Kobe for me, like that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the third person, honestly, is my wife. It was my wife.
Mm.
So there was a short time in my life where I didn't make music, and it's because I was a husband and a father, and
Mm.
she just wanted me. She loved that I had the passion for it, but she really wanted me to be a part of the home and establish that. And I said most definitely. So I stopped making music,
Wow.
and then when she got ill, is when I was losing my mind. And so I had to find an outlet. And so I started buying new gear and I started messing around with sounds and samples again. And I started making beats. And, with new technology, you got to learn new things. And I just didn't have it because I was learning. And yeah, so without, I don't even know how to say this. Like, if she was still alive, I don't think I'd be making music, like, to be honest. So it's kind of weird. Like, I'm not thankful, but I know everything has a purpose and a plan, and I definitely know that she's with me, and all of this is a part of the process of our journeys, and this is why Taylor and I are with each other today. Today
Mm.
is a huge day in Taylor's life.
Yeah.
Today, and I said some words to him this morning. Like, I'm just commend you for how you're holding up. You know, uh, what, 3 years ago today, and man, thank you for being strong, bro. And I love you.
Love you
Man.
too, man. And I appreciate that. Just to let you know, 3 years ago today, my mom passed away from stage 4 lung cancer, and it was a sudden transition. We weren't ready for it. So um, she has had such an impact on everything I am musically, and I carry her with me. Her voice. I have like voice memos from her that I listen to from time to time, where she's
Good.
just speaking directly to me, and she will forever impact the way that I write and create for the rest of my life. So yeah, man, like this idea of grief and loss, and at the same time, like purpose,
Mm-hmm.
is something that I've been thinking a whole lot about over the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just was wiping the sweat out of my eyes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Peace. You just said to Taylor, this is a very important day for him. It's also a very important day for you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as long as you've been in this game, you always constantly reinvent yourself. And hearing what you just talked about that I didn't even know happened. This is a new chapter in your life
Yeah.
as well. Like, take the
Yes.
flowers at the same
Yes.
time, because
Yes.
the work that you're doing, someone is definitely paying attention and taking notice. But hearing your testimony and the truth that you just talked about today during this vibe session, for
Yes.
someone like me who knows everything about you creatively, doesn't know the personal things that I'm just hearing for the first time, it makes me resonate with you even more. So while you're telling Taylor to enjoy this moment, take some time to enjoy it for yourself.
Oh, absolutely. I celebrated
Because
last night.
yeah,
Trust me.
because uh, this is a powerful moment in your life, and I know that she is watching from the
Yes,
heavens,
she is.
smiling on you.
Hmm.
Um, watch right there behind, right there, right beside you, dancing with you and reciting the lyrics and bopping the head and all the things. But at night when you're at home, she's having conversation with you, saying how proud she is of you.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
for never being jaded, for always doing what's inside your heart, even if it falls short. You do what
Mm.
your heart tells you. You try to live your life the best way that you can, and
Yeah.
so
That's
celebrate
it.
this moment,
Oh
like the
yeah.
song says, prepare me for this moment, and that's
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
what I
That
feel is
is
happening.
exactly what he wrote.
Yeah,
And we're being prepared minute by minute,
yeah,
Yeah.
day by day,
ab- ab-
and I'm thankful. I'm thankful for seeing this thing
yeah,
come from start to finish, from you know
yeah,
the beginning to end, and where we go from here musically, I don't know. But we're gonna enjoy this.
yeah.
Of course, I always have beats on deck. Um, I would love. I'm even thinking about, how do we follow this up, Taylor? Should we do a part two, or should we just let it just be a one and done, and a what would they call it, a grail, like a classic. But man, I don't know. But beats are still being made, trust me,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
and raps are still being written.
this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Hey, maybe the next album will be "Let the Culture Say Amen." Who knows? You
Yeah.
never
Maybe.
know. You
Maybe.
never know. So speaking of the album, "Let the Church Say Amen," this is where I'm gonna fall back and I'm gonna let you guys promote the album, let them know where they can get it. I just bought my vinyl yesterday, so I can't wait to get it next week. But yeah, promote the album, guys. The floor is yours. Go.
Yo, listen, I'm gonna give Peace the floor
Mhm.
specifically for the vinyls and the digital. That is
Mhm.
real. That is out today. That is
Today.
out September 6th,
Mhm.
2024.
Yeah.
What a beautiful day to be able to release
Amen.
something like this. And next week, September 13th, it will be streaming everywhere. Anywhere
Yeah.
you stream music, you'll be able to hear it. We want as many people
Mhm.
to hear this as possible. And we look forward to reading, interacting with any testimonies that come from this project because we believe the Lord was speaking.
Absolutely, 100% correct. I would love to hear, read, see people sharing it with others and getting their reactions. And yeah, I would love to see all that. But you can buy the vinyl. I think there's 11 copies, 10 copies left, at 586beats.bandcamp.com. You can buy it to stream on Bandcamp today as well. And you'll hear it before anybody else does next week, Friday. So we just felt like if you bought the vinyl, then you should have a gift of being able to listen to the album before, because you're blessing us with your hard-earned monies.
Yeah.
So
Thank
here
you.
you go. You get
Thank you.
this
Yeah.
before it even comes out. It's so we scratching each other's backs,
Yes.
So
Yes.
and the reason why I have been pressing vinyls is because it's gonna last a lifetime. I listened to
Yes.
my dad's records when I was a little boy. I would love for my grandkids to listen to
Mm,
my records when I'm gone, and just being able to say my grandpa did this and
Yeah.
he made this beat, and for my grandkid to say I want to make beats, or I want to write raps and stuff. So um,
Yes.
it's something different when you're able to hold it in your hand.
Yes.
yeah.
Physical. You're able to say, man, you look at the back, you read the credits, you see where it was
Mm,
recorded, you check the notes, and you start doing your research on other cats like Dan Steele, like Tenacity, who mastered the record, like Nova, who's featured on the record. Like, so it's just having all these details that make it a
yeah.
great experience overall.
Yeah.
So buy the record.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Taylor, before you say anything, I just want to piggyback off what I said to Peace. Your wife and your kids get to see you in this element. Now they already see you doing the pastor thing, but they get to see you do the MC thing. that must be a beautiful thing to say. Yo, my dad is a famous rapper. Look at him. He's on this album cover right now. There's a video out with him, and this. How do you feel when you get to see your kids and your wife say, my dad, my husband, stay true to this, and this is the end result, and what a beautiful thing it is to be heard in this way, where the people can just hear what we see at home every single day, man. Speak on that real quickly, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'm a hip hop dad. I love being a hip hop dad. Like, I love the interaction that they have with hip hop music, with rap music, and being able to educate them just through listening to their dad. Like, because they get to hear drafts. They get to hear when I'm like in a room somewhere practicing a rhyme, So it's always so interesting to me to watch my son and my daughter and my wife. I told my wife the other night, she wanted to throw the vinyl on the turntable, and I was just like, it's kind of weird for me, like, listening to my music while I'm sitting right here, like, like it was just a little funny moment we
Hey,
had
wait,
together.
Tay, how does she like it?
She loves it.
Oh, man.
But I was sitting there, and it felt awkward for me to be
Yeah.
sitting there, like, watching her
I know.
listen to.
But I care more about how she felt, not how you
She
felt.
loves it, bro. She loves it. She loves it, and she
I
literally.
have yet to meet Liz, and I can't wait to meet her. Like, honestly.
Man, you're gonna love her. You're gonna love her.
I already know that.
I already know that. These things are already figured out. But you and the kids will love you too. But just to wrap it up by saying, man, the kids are engaged, and their palate is being developed. So
Nice.
they can't listen to whack MCs in my house.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they can't listen to no whack MCs, no whack beats.
Should I throw a group out again? Should I throw a group reference out?
Go ahead. You know what? I'm gonna entertain it. Go ahead.
I'm done.
Oh my goodness, I can't. I'm done. Well, I bought the vinyl, but I didn't know you could get the you could listen to it on Bandcamp. So, as a favor for me, since I didn't get that, can I get respective drops from you two? That'll be good enough for me. Can I get that?
No doubt.
Yes, that'll be perfect for me. So in closing, let them know how they can find you on social media. Any upcoming shows that we should know about. Whatever it is you want to talk about that promotes the album. Once again, the floor is both yours. Go for it.
Hey. Yeah, I'm social media. I'm primarily on Facebook and Instagram. Instagram is where you're going to see a lot of the music stuff. So that is at Taelor, TAELOR _Gray, GRAY. That's Instagram, and that's my Twitter page. Just not as active, but a lot of my music is centralized on that page. And then Facebook's just my government name, Taelor Gray, TAELOR GRAY. Like Shaquille O'Neal said, anything else, you can just Google me.
There you go.
I like that. I do IG and Facebook as well, but I use Facebook for family, man. I don't really promote music on Facebook, even though I do get tagged and dropped on the Facebook. I appreciate those, but I'm not using it to promote my music on Facebook, so I don't have to say that one. But IG is Rene, RENE. That's _ Peace 586 _ Vasquez, because I like to let people know I have a real name, and you can call me by either. It don't matter to me. So yeah, a lot of people were like, I can't find you on IG, so I figure I put my real name on there too. So yeah.
Oh man, amen and amen. This has been a very rewarding, introspective, and sometimes funny vibe session this afternoon.
Taylor, you kill me, bro. You got jokes.
You're the jokester. What are you saying?
Right, you got jokes.
Right? Man, every time he did something, I'm like, ding. Yeah, like there he goes again. But
I just speak my heart.
In all seriousness, gentlemen, you have a truly timeless masterpiece here that I think is going to resonate with a lot of people, most likely probably, and I'm sure the target is non-believers, because you don't want, it's no point in preaching to the converted. You're trying to preach to the unconverted. And I really feel that that testimony that was delivered onto you is going to happen. You're going to win a lot more souls and really, really gravitate towards a lot of people. People are going to gravitate towards you with this project and everything that's going to come behind it. So, thank you, brothers, for this time. Thank you for being so patient with me and moving it up a little bit. But I'm glad we got to do this, because I feel this really, to hear the music is one thing, but to hear how it became what it became is truly the reason why I do this podcast. And I asked everyone to speak openly and unapologetically, and you guys did that today. The album is called Let the Church Say Amen. I have been saying let the culture say amen, because both the church and the culture are winning at this moment. These authors are Peace 586. This is Taelor Gray. And Taelor, I don't know if you've ever been told this before, but you resemble Gift of Gab, which is another one of my favorite MCs from Black Alicious. I don't know if you know who Gift of Gab is, but
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you all.
I'm gonna be honest. I thought you were going to say what I usually hear, which is Lawrence Fishburne.
No, I didn't think that at all. Because he has the glasses, his beard was the same way yours is, and he's very tall as well. So,
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's the first time, but I'll take it.
Salute to Gift of Gab. Rest in peace to him as well. Gentlemen, thank you for this time. I can't wait to see what comes next, whatever it is. Taelor, we're following each other. Peace, we're following each other. So make sure you keep me in the loop for the next project. And anything else I need to know of, just keep me in the loop.
Appreciate you.
All right, gentlemen. We are out. Rap Sheet Podcast is done for the night. Enjoy the weekend. And man, this has been a beautiful time. Thank you, Peace. Thank you, Taelor. I enjoyed this one. God bless you both. And keep the memory going, man. Keep it flowing.
Word up.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all. Later. God bless you.